Peace to you guys. It's been a little while before I got to talk with you guys, so I'm sorry about that. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. But I wanted to talk about one movie that I saw, which was Alita Avenging Angel. So I saw that movie a while back, actually. And I wanted to talk to you guys about it, but I didn't have the opportunity or chance to do so. I was pretty busy. So I'll give you a very brief review on the movie. The movie, in my opinion, it was one I wasn't looking forward to. We ended up having to see that because we really wanted to go see it was the Kevin Hart movie. I forgot what the name of it is. Upside. That's it. The Upside with Nicole Kidman and Brandon Cranston, I think it is. I wanted to see that movie. It's kind of based on a similar sort of theme that was happening in my life with my mom, so I wanted to see that. But we couldn't get to see it, so Alita was the only thing available, so we went and saw Alita. Avenging. It was good. It was good. The CGI for Alita is fantastic. The conveyance of emotion and so on. I can see there was a lot of work put into the animation of Alita. I know Alita was based off of a mocap of an actual actress. There's of course some distortion in the face and the eyes and stuff, but Alita is really a cyborg, so you got a human brain, but otherwise it's a cyborg, so it works. And I like that they mix the character in with real people, so there are real actors there, and so it's seamless. And even the world, which has some CGI, the world's kind of built on CGI, so the principles is also quite seamless. So the CGI is very impressive to me. The other thing that was impressive about the movie was the plot. The story, for me, some people were saying was bland, was boring. I didn't find so. It was a slow-paced movie because it was more of an emotional impact they were trying to have. And the movie's more of a tragedy. I didn't know it was a tragedy till ultimately close to the end. And it's sort of a love story, but it's not your typical love story. So it was pretty good in that respect. I think that the plot wasn't the greatest plot in the world, but it was. Alita was basically trying to discover who she was, and she was on this journey. And the guy who discovered her actually knew who she was. And the story basically is about above and below. So there's a city above, and below it's like a city of hell, kind of like, and people are trying to get to above if they can. And so ultimately, Alita is this special technology from about 3,000 years ago that sort of a cyborg that is used to a warrior. And basically, Alita was there to guard and protect, apparently above. But above seemed to have been taken over by some other person, or there was some oppressor, and Alita was there to actually take him out. But she somehow fell from, there was this conduit between the above city and below. She fell from that conduit, and as a result of that, she was in a pile of rubbish for like 3,000 years, and it was rediscovered. And the technology and the suit that she wears and stuff actually, makes her almost invincible. So that's basically the story, but we only kind of find pieces of the story as the story goes along. And the guy who discovered her gave her a different body for his daughter, because what happened was his daughter seemed to have died or something in some sort of accident, I think it was. And the mother of his daughter, it just so happened that the guy who discovers her, who's a scientist, he comes from above as well. He and his wife were kicked out from above for whatever reason. I can't remember what the reason was. So in the end, we find out that above is ruled by a sort of dictator, a guy who took over the city that was above. And he's still currently there, and he can see everything down below, and he can kind of possess different people below through the technology that they have. And so he can see everything, and in the end, Alita takes out the head of below. It seems she gave her heart to the Nicole Kidman's character. Nicole Kidman's character was the wife of the scientist, and she was some high-ranking officer above, or minister or something, and she was kicked out. So she wanted to get back above. Anyways, so I think Nicole Kidman's character's got her heart. I'm not too sure, but I think so. Alita's heart was important to run the machine. But Alita herself, because she was connected to this guy who's trying to get above, and he ultimately dies because of the leader of above, who Alita finds out, realizes who this guy is, and finds out who she is and what her purpose is through slow realization. Because of that, she's targeting that guy, and she's seeking vengeance against him, to have a mutiny against him and his system. So that's ultimately the story. There are some enemies or adversaries below, which the guy above manipulates to try and destroy Alita. And the story ultimately is she overcomes them in the end. So, having said all of that, the movie is interesting. It's an interesting movie. There are some take-home messages and some morals of the story. But ultimately, it's not a super deep story. It's more of a romance, sort of adventure, sort of story. The action scenes in the movie are the price of admission. So they're the fantastic action scenes. Yeah, so that's what I think of Alita, Avenging Angel. It was a good flick. It roped us in. We was watching the story. It has drama. It has death. It has adventure. It has a little bit of romance, not heavy romance, but a little bit of romance, and it has also has a little humor in it. It's odd beat humor. Yeah, so that's the kind of movie that it was, and I enjoyed it for what it was. I wasn't looking forward to it. I wasn't hyped about it, so it actually turned out to be something that was better than I expected when I went into the cinema to see it. So I enjoyed myself. Yeah, so that's Alita, Avenging Angel. In terms of God and Jesus, I always say God is faithful to us, man. I can't tell you how faithful He is. Been going through my different ups and downs, but through it all, God has been faithful. So I always tell you guys, keep your trust in God. No matter what's happening to you, keep your trust and faith in God. That's what I'll tell you guys to do. And don't ever stop praying, right? Well, that's my take right now. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. For me, I'm out. Peace.